lovely, so welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reading a story for you. It is a story, I'll go ahead and just read you the prompt for it. An old and homely grandmother accidentally summons a demon. She mistakes him for her gothic phase teenage grandson and takes care of him. The demon decides to stay at his new home. So it's a lovely story, and it's so cute and so heartwarming, and I'm very glad that I came across it. I'm going to fix my necklace here. Very glad that I came across it because when I was reading it I was like, oh my god, I have to read this for the channel. It's such a good story, and I've been waiting so long to actually start these videos and actually be able to start reading this stuff because of this story right here, and it's beautiful. And I'm going to read it off of my phone, but you know, you'll get the idea. So I guess we'll get right into it. It isn't uncommon for this particular demon to be summoned. From exhausting Halloween party pranks in abandoned barns to more legitimate, more exhausting ceremonies in forests. But it has to admit, this is the first time it's been called forth from its realm into a claustrophobic living room bathed in a dull orange-pink glow of old glass lamps and a multitude of wide-eyed, creepy antique porcelain dolls that could give Chucky a run for his money with all of their silent, seething stares combined. Accompanying those oddities are teacup and saucer sets on shelves atop frilly dollies crocheted with the utmost care, and cross-stitch, colorful Home Sweet Home hung across the wood-paneled walls. It's a mistake, the wrong number per se. No witch it is ever known has lived in such an dated home. Furthermore, no practitioner that has ever summoned it has been absent, as if they'd up and ding-dong ditched it. No, it wouldn't work that way. Not at all. Not if they wanted to survive the encounter. It hears the clinking of movement in the room adjacent, the kitchen, going by the pungent, bitter scent of cooled coffee and soggy, sweet sponge cakes. But more jarring is the smell of blood. It moves, feeling something slip beneath its clawed foot as it does, and sees a crocheted blanket of whites and grays and deep black yarn, wound intricately, perfectly into a summoning circle. Its summoning circle. There's a small splash of bright scarlet and sharp, jagged bits of a broken curio scattered across the top, as if someone had dropped it, attempted to pick up the pieces, and pricked their finger. It would explain the blood, and it would explain the demon being brought into such a strange place. As it connects these pieces in its mind, the inhabitant of the house rounds the corner and exits the kitchen, holding a damp white dish towel close to its hand and fumbling with the beaded bifocals hanging from her neck by a crocheted lanyard before stopping dead in her tracks. Now, to be fair, a demon wouldn't ordinarily second-guess being face-to-face with a hunchback crone with a beaked nose, beady eyes, and a particular lack of teeth, or a spidery shawl and ankle-length black dress, but there is definitely something amiss here, especially when the old biddy lets her spectacles fall slack from her bosom and erupts into a wide, toothy, toothless grin, eyes squinting and crinkling from the sheer effort of it. Tod! Tod, dear, I didn't know you were visiting this year. You didn't call, you didn't write. But oh, I'm so happy you're here. Would it have been too much to ask for you to ring the doorbell? I almost had a heart attack. But don't worry about the blood here. I had an accident. My favorite figure toppled off the table, and cleanup didn't go as expected. But I seem to recall you're quite into bloodshed and edgy stuff these days, so I don't suppose you mind. She releases a hearty, kind laugh, but it isn't mocking. It's sweet, grandmotherly. The demon is by no means sentimental, but the kindness and familiarity, the genuine fondness, does pull a few dusty old nostalgic heartstrings. Imagine if it leaves a scar. That would be a bit badass, as you teenagers say, wouldn't it? She's blind as a bat without her glasses, it would appear, because the demon is by no means Tod, or any human at all, though humanoid, shrouded in a sleek black skin and hard spikes with sharp claws. But the demon humors her, if only because it had been caught off its guard. The old woman smiles still before turning on her heels and shuffling into the hallway with a stiff gait, revealing a poor hip. Be a dear and make some more coffee, would you please? I'll be back in a jiffy. Yes, this is most definitely a mistake. one for the record books, for certain. For late-night trips to bars and conversations with colleagues, while others discussed how many souls they'd swindled in exchange for peanuts, or how many firstborns they had pledged for things idiot humans could have gained without divine intervention. Ugh. Sometimes it all became so pedantic that these little detours like this were a blessing. Happy accidents, as the humans would say. That's why the demon does as it's asked and plods slowly into the kitchen, careful to duck low and avoid the top of the doorframe. That's why it gingerly takes the small glass pot and empties it of old, stale coffee, and carefully, so carefully, takes a measuring scoop between its claws and fills the machine with fresh grounds. It's as the hot water is percolating that the old woman returns, her index finger wrapped tight in a series of beige bandages. I'm surprised you're so tall, Tod. I haven't seen you since you were at my hip. But your mother mails me photos all the time. You do love wearing all black, don't you? She takes a seat at the small round table in the corner and taps the glass lid of the cake plate with quaking, unsteady, aged hands. I was starting to think you would never visit. Your father and I have had our disagreements, but I'm glad you're here, dear. Would you like some cake? Before the demon has a chance to decline, she lifts the lid and cuts a generous slice from a near-complete circle that has scarcely been touched. It smells of citrus and cream, and is, as assumed earlier, soggy, oversaturated with icing. It was made for a special occasion, for guests, but it doesn't seem this old woman receives much company in this musty, stagnant house that smells like an antique garage that hadn't had its dust stirred in years, especially from her absentee grandson, Tod. The demon waits until the coffee pot is full and takes 2 small mugs from the counter, filling them until steam is frothing over the rims. Then, and only then, does he accept the cake and sit, with some difficulty, in the chair at the small table. It warbles out a polite thank you, but doesn't suppose the woman understands. Manners are manners, regardless. Oh dear, I can hardly understand. Your voice has gotten so deep, just like your grandfather's was. That, and I do recall you have an affinity for that gravelly, screaming music. Did your voice get strained? It's all right, dear. I'll do the talking. You just rest up. The coffee will help soothe. The demon merely nods. Some communication can be understood without fail, and drinks the coffee and eats the cake with a too small fork. It's ordinarily mushy, but delicious because the intent behind it, and the love that must have gone into its creation. It's ice. She snorts a lot. It's okay. She's not dying. I promise. Still not dying. I hope you enjoyed all the presents I sent you. You never write back. But I am aware that most people use the fancy email these days. I just can't wrap my head around it. I do wish your mom and dad would visit sometimes. I know a wonderful little cafe down the street we can go to. I haven't been. I wanted to visit with Charles before he... well... She falls silent in her rambling, staring into her coffee with a small, melancholy smile. I can't believe it's been 10 years. You never had the chance to meet him. But never mind that. Suddenly, and with surprising speed that the demon has concern for her well-being, she moves to her feet, bracing her hands on the edge of the table. I may as well give you your birthday present since you're here. What timing! I only finished it this morning. I'll be right back. When she returns, the white, gray, and black crochet work with the summoning circle is bundled in her arms. I found these designs in an occult book I found in the library. I thought you'd like them on a nice, warm blanket to fight off the winter chill. I hope you do like it. With gentle hands, she spreads the blanket over the demon's broad, spiky back like a shawl, soothing it over his craggy shoulders and patting his arms affectionately. Happy birthday, Tod, dear. Well, that settles it. Whoever, wherever, Tod is, he's clearly missing out. The demon will just have to be her grandson from now on. Now there is more to this story, but I am going to have to save it for another video because I don't want this one to run too long. So I'm going to split it up into 2 parts, so you'll get 1 part today and 1 part probably next week. But I'm super excited to finish reading this for you because it's such a cute story. Don't you think it's so cute? I love it. But anyway, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you stayed till this point in the video, I love you. You're the best. If you really liked it, you really enjoyed it, give it a big thumbs up. If you want to see more stuff like this, I do fictional readings like this, I do personal storytelling, and I'm hoping to do challenges in the future. If you want to see all of that fun stuff, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you have any suggestions for videos I should make in the future, then go ahead and leave those ideas in the comments comment section. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!